Hey, you are now locked in to Hard Reset with Juice Kastoan. Let's go. Hello, hello, hello. We are now in episode 23. We're almost at the finish line. I'd like to welcome everybody to Hard Reset. I am Juice Kastoan, and you are now in episode 23. Today, what I'll be talking about is something I know far too well, something I lived often and have learned to manage over the years because, you know, I've crashed so many times and even literally. Um, this episode is gonna be about burnout. Um, I'll probably give you like examples of me burnout. Uh, Other than that though, we'll talk about burnout. Uh, and then talk about my experiences experiencing burnout. And then after that, I'll try to give you what I've learned that works for me to prevent burnout and to keep pushing. Sorry, I'm drinking a Bang energy drink. What's a blue ras? It's a wait, what is this? Yeah, blue ras, you know what I'm saying? Um, I got drink energy drink sometimes because I be tired. That little boy's a handful. He be running around, grabbing stuff, moving everything around. Man, this dude, before I even get into this dude went and picked, I'm not gonna say because he didn't like Hercules. He didn't like pick up a vacuum, like a regular Hoover vacuum and like lift it over his head and start doing military press to it. No, he didn't do that. But he's 9 months old. No, actually he's 10 months old. He's 10 months old and he grabbed it and then dragged it across the floor. Now, maybe that's normal. I don't know. But I would think that a vacuum, like a regular old school vacuum, would be too heavy for a infant to actually, because he's not tall yet, I don't think. I don't know what age is classified as what, but I wouldn't think that he would be strong enough to actually be able to grab it, pull it, and drag it with him wherever he's going. Like he grabbed it and was dragging it. And, I had to go and get it. Like it was crazy. I was like, how? And then, we put the baby locks on the drawers so he doesn't, open a drawer and get hurt or anything like that, trying to open a drawer or opening and closing it. And he actually hit the release latch and opened the damn drawer. Like, what in the hell is going on, bro? Like, I'm trying not to cuss often in these. I'm trying not to cuss at all, really. I want to keep it, you know, keep it not explicit, but I don't know if hell counts as explicit word. I guess I'll find out whenever the episode stays on or it gets axed, I guess, right? All right, so anyway, I just had to tell that story because that happened today. Um Burnout. For those who are ambitious and trying to, get to where they need to go and make money, like some people, and I'll speak about myself, but some people they work like two, three jobs, barely getting sleep just to make money, just to make a livable wage. They're working two, three jobs and everything, having no days off, you know. My brother, he used to work two jobs all the time, two full-time jobs, and he would literally have a full-time job for certain days, and then he had the other full-time job for other days. So he like rarely got rest. Um, it's very hard, and it's hard out here. So people are doing what they have to do so they can, um, make it. So for me, my experience, we'll start with before I joined the Navy. I was super motivated. I wanted to work, wanted to get my own car, I wanted to get out there and, start earning for a living. So I was going to college full time. I think I was working at Whataburger at this point and Walmart. And then no, well, I was working at Whataburger and then I picked up a job at Walmart. So then I was splitting my time working part-time at Walmart and part-time at Walgreens. Not Walgreens, at Whataburger. So, I working part-time both of those jobs. I'm going to school full-time. I'm grinding. This is after I got this on, moved out into the crib with the Lenny Rockets, and got the overpayment check for financial aid, and bought myself a car and a phone and some fly clothes. Yeah, I think I look back at it now. That was so stupid. I could have like saved that money and invested in something. But live and learn. I just wanted a car. I wanted nice clothes. I wanted all the nice things that I didn't have, and I wanted to get out there and start working and have bills, which is weird. Most people don't want to have bills, but I was in such a rush to be an adult. I was like, bring them to me. I need some responsibility. So I was doing that. And then I stopped working at Whataburger, I believe. I think I picked between Whataburger and Walgreens. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna work at Walmart because school and both part-time jobs, well, school isn't conflicting because that's the main thing. But the two part-time jobs, I think they were conflicting because the schedules, they were wanting the same days, and I couldn't, work at both of them the same days. Or at least I didn't think so at that point in time. So I think I dropped Whataburger, right? And that's a job I had since I like graduated high school. So, um, fast forward, going to school full time, working at Walmart full time, and then I think my uncle he said, "Hey, I got a job open if you want to work it. Yeah, I see you working a lot and everything, going to school. I got something if you want to work." And I was like, "Okay, cool. What is it?" And basically, it was a security job at an apartment complex. And basically, what I do is I sit in the gate. Well, those little booths right outside the gate, and you basically let people in and let people out. So I was basically working one of those, and it was overnight. It was like 10 to 6, I think. 10 to 6 or 10 to 5. I can't remember. Let me see. No, it had to be 10 to 6. So it was 10 to 6, and so then I started working that, and it was a full time. It wasn't part time. So I was doing that full time. I was going to school full time, and I was working at Walmart part time. This meant some days I had like two classes, and then I work at Walmart part time for some hours, and then I finished the night off by going to the security job for 10 to 6. And either I'd have class again the next day in like the afternoon or something, or I would not have class and I would thankfully have that, day off of school. But I still had to go to a security job that night to work. So I was doing that. And I noticed certain things were being weird when I felt jittery at school. And I was just talking to my friend holding a juice. I don't remember what kind of juice it was. It might have been Everfresh or whatever that thing's called. And it was I think it had to be glass because it broke. So I was holding it and I was talking to them, and then my hands it couldn't hold on to the bottle anymore. Like I was holding it, and then my hands just released grip, like no control over it. My body just released it. And I was really confused on how the hell that happened because I was gripping it, and like it wasn't like I was distracted to where I couldn't hold a drink. Like people hold drinks and hold conversations all the time, so. The fact that I was holding it and I was having a conversation and then it just like fell out my hand was really weird. And I felt weird. So I was like, why that happened? So obviously that was a warning from my body saying you need to rest, you need to sleep. Me, I was like, okay, that was weird, but I don't feel sleepy. I should be fine. So if I'm not mistaken, I think that was a different day. So, time passes and I'm doing this for a good 2 or 3 weeks. And then one day I had school, I had Walmart. And then I had the overnight job, and I think it was like a Friday or something like that. And then, yeah, it was a Friday because that weekend I was going to head to campus because I was going to either shoot jump Texan with Birdie, Birdie B, or I was going to go to campus to record. I just can't remember which it was. But it might have been to get ready to shoot the music video for Don't Text Me. So I go through the day like normal. I don't feel weird, don't feel anything crazy. And then I'm like, okay, so I need to get ready for the night. So let me make sure, I got fuel and whatnot. So me not knowing what fuel I actually needed, I remember exactly what I got. I, I remember all of it. I finished school, finished Walmart, and I went to the store and I bought a Monster and I bought a Taco Bell. I don't remember what I got from Taco Bell, but it probably was the same thing I always get: the soft taco supremes and the Crunchwrap Supremes, because the Crunchwrap Supremes are godly. So um, I got that right. I get that, and then at that point, I go to work. So it's just a regular day working. Go through the shift. I feel tired throughout the shift. I don't remember if I was dozing off during the shift, but I do remember being tired while working the shift. At this point in time, I pass the time by sitting there, uh, being on my phone, or I would go out and smoke outside. Diary Blacks. I remember those. The firecrackers, the ones that you're smoking and like sparks as you're smoking it. So I thought that was cool. So I was like, oh, I'm getting those. So and it had a cool look to it. It looked elegant. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I'm smoking, I'm gonna smoke like a class. You know what I'm saying? So I go through the shift, eat my Taco Bell, drink a little bit of my 0 calorie Monster. But no, I don't even think it was 0 calorie. I think it was a green one. I think it was a regular one. And because I was like, I need all the energy I can get. So I'm drinking that. Then every once in a while, taking a break, smoking a diamond black, all that, the clothes, and then get to the end of the shift. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get to the end of the shift, and then I start heading back to campus. Now, the distance from Houston is huge. If you don't know, Houston is pretty big. The north side and south side, they're pretty spread apart. So I was on the south side at the job, and I was driving back to Prairie View, which is like heading towards College Station, which is more up north. So I was driving back there. Now, I do think if I actually went home instead of going to campus, which I thought about, I think I actually would have made it and nothing would have happened and I would have been fine. I would have went to sleep that night. But I was grinding and I was like, no, I want to do this music. So I'm going to drive all the way to campus and, get to work once I rest a little bit and get a nap. So I'm driving and, going down the freeway and everything. Everything's cool. I get on, what is it, I think 610. It's either 610 or 45. I drive all the way down there until I make it to 290. 290 is where Cypress is. So, I got to pass through Cypress just to get to Prairie View. So, this is why I'm going to Prairie View University. Um, so, I'm driving through there, and then, I get on 290. And this whole drive in general was like an hour, hour and a half. Actually, it had to be more than an hour. It was definitely like an hour 15 to hour 45 drive, which is why I was like, if I had went home, I actually would have made it because home was only like an hour away. And going back to Prairie View, going from my house to Prairie View, back when I lived in Tomball, that was literally 30 to 45 minutes. So, um, like I said, I passed the house and, I'm going down to 90, heading towards Prairie View. And then I want to say about 20 or 25 minutes into the drive, it's raining. Not raining hard, but, drizzling. And as I'm driving, I start dozing off. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm dozing off. What the hell? Okay. So I tried to, regain focus and um I put my windows down because I was told, I think my brother told me, you want to have your windows down, you want to have the wind blowing, you want to have, noise, and, you want music playing because you don't want to fall asleep and those things, they'll, keep you alert to where you can, you know, have enough sense to, enough disruption to keep you awake so you can drive even if you're tired. So, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just roll down the window, turn on my music, and keep driving. I do that. And then after that, I doze off again. And, I try to take it off and be like, I'm almost here. Because literally, at this point, I'm about, I want to say 10 minutes away. Like I'm like 10 to 15 minutes away from campus. Like I'm almost there. I can see it. Like I'm almost there. So um I try to push through and make it to campus. Well, I ended up uh blacking out again. But this time it was longer than just quick, uh dozing off, oh I'm awake kind of situation. It was like, I actually went to sleep while I was driving. Um so then I don't know how long I was asleep. I just know when I woke up, I realized that my car was headed straight towards the guardrail and it was raining and there was nothing I could do to prevent it from happening. So, I see myself going towards the guardrail. I try to turn the wheels away from the guardrail as it's going towards it, and the car literally slides towards the guardrail. So I hit the guardrail. I don't think I was going that fast either. I don't think like I was speeding or anything. Like I think I was just going regular speed at that point. But nonetheless, it turns to the guardrail, boom, I hit it. So then the car, it hits the guardrail again, and then it veers off. And basically, in this part of the freeway, you're in the country, so it's not like I'm in like on a bridge or somewhere high driving. Like this, you're next to flatlands. So the separation between the two sides of traffic for this freeway is literally just a patch of grass in the middle. So I hit that guardrail and I go across the patch of grass and I can't control it still. It's still, sliding and going where it wants to go. And, I look down to see if there's any cars coming. Luckily, there's no cars coming. So I'm like, okay, what I'll do is I'll just let the car, let its momentum take it to where it goes. And then once it slows down and stops, then I'll take control of it and move it back to, my side of traffic. So it slams across. Well, it already slammed. Now I'm just sliding across the grass and then I slide across the grass into the other side of traffic. Luckily, there's no cars coming. And then the car finally stops. So then I'm like, okay. So then I take control of the car. I turn it back across the grass, drive back into my side of traffic. And then I pull over into the shoulder. I see that there's a lot of smoke coming from the front because basically the hood flew off and the fender, I think the fender flew off too. Um, it was a 99 or a 98 black Mustang, one of those, a coupe. So, the fender and the hood flew off when I hit the guardrail. And basically I saw smoke. So I was like, okay, I don't know if the car's gonna explode or not, but let me get my important stuff out of the car. So I try to get all the stuff out of the car before something bad happens with the car. So I proceed to get my backpack with my school stuff and my mic and everything, and I get my basketball. Why did I think my basketball was important? Probably because that was my stress reliever at that point in time, and I would just go into the gym at night and shit around all the time. So, I had that ball. It's like $60 ball. So I was like, I'm not leaving that ball. I'm taking that ball with me too. So I grab everything and then I, go a good 15, 20 feet away from the car while I was smoking, and then eventually stop smoking. I'm like, okay, so I guess it's not gonna blow up, so that's good. And then eventually a cop comes and he's like, is everything all right? What happened? And then I told him like I fell asleep at the wheel and everything. So he was like, okay, well, do you need help getting on campus? So I'm like, yep. And so he basically, I can't remember if he followed me or I followed him, but basically he escorted me to campus. And then I told my mom, told my brother, and then my brother came, and then if I remember correctly, he drove me to my mom's house where I was I wasn't living there at that time, but we lived close to each other. So he drove me out there, and then my mom said, what happened? I told her, and she was I think she was worried, but I don't remember anything crazy happening or coming out of her mouth afterwards. And then me being who I am, I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, I need to uh I need to fix my car. I need to go to work tonight. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, I gotta go to work tonight. I gotta go to the night job and work that tonight. She's like, no, you're not working that job anymore. You're not going anywhere. You're gonna go to sleep. And I didn't even fight it. I was just like, okay. So I went to sleep. And then yeah, that was the first burnout I experienced. The second burnout, basically. I was just the Navy. I was in the Navy, and then um, at some point, I couldn't find peace in my own home. I can say that. And I was living alone, but weird stuff was happening, and it was interrupting my sleep and interrupting my peace of mind in my own home. So I didn't even feel safe in my own home, which eventually led to me not being able to go to sleep because I was always worried something was going to happen, which is probably where part of my paranoia, schizophrenia began too. So um it just got worse and worse to the point to where I couldn't sleep anymore and I wasn't able to actually rest. Uh so my first class was like, if you can't sleep, why don't you just take some like melatonin or some sleeping pills and try to go to sleep. So I was like, okay. I tried it. I tried it. I took like two or three and I couldn't go to sleep. It didn't work. And then while this is happening, I told y'all before in the previous episode about how, I was doing real well and achieving a lot of things. Well, in the process of me achieving a lot of things, I was also being stupid and like breaking stupid rules like curfew and stuff like that when everyone else had to stay on base, knowing I needed to be doing the same thing, but I'm not. I'm going out in town and traveling and seeing the city and everything and not being smart and staying home. So, that led to people disliking me. And they weren't hiding. They're just like they were openly letting me know they did not like me. So at this point in time, I was still, you know, I don't know if I was yearning for approval, but I didn't like the idea of people not liking me when I've done all these things to try to help others. So then it was like, why do they dislike me when, I try to do all these things to help other people? Mind you, while this is happening, I'm not even thinking about the fact that, you know, I've been an asshole and that if someone I don't mess with, they know I don't mess with them because I've either told somebody that told them or we've had a conversation. I let them know straight up, like, I just don't deal with you like that. Like I've been like that, and you know, I'm getting all this recognition, but I'm being a shitty person by breaking the rules. Well, it's like, okay, it's not being a shitty person by breaking the rules, 'cause I wasn't harming nobody. I was literally going by myself, just hanging out and seeing the city all the time. But with that being said, I'm treating it like I have special privilege when I don't. So, that led to people not liking me, basically. So, um, that happened, and then it just got worse to the point to where mentally, I I wasn't stable. Mentally, I wasn't stable. Uh, People were actively showing their dislike. Uh, I couldn't sleep. I'm walking around trying to find a place to rest, and I can't. Then I get locked out of my house because my damn key don't work. Like all this shit keeps happening. So, you know, at this point, I'm just like, whatever. And I go out and I see some people with a disgusted look on their face, and I'm assuming it's about me. And I'm like, I don't know why they don't like me. So then that day, after working all those extra hours, not getting any sleep, and doing all this extra stuff, it all compounded. So then that's when I had a suicide attempt. That was my second burnout. So with that burnout, that was both were severe. I can't say one's more severe than the other. Both were severe. But that last one was more of a mental breakdown than my body saying, "Okay, you need to chill the fuck out." So, damn, I cuss. Nonetheless, that was a mental break. So that mental break led to me getting on medications and led to my diagnosis, which led to me fully just moving away from putting a lot of work on my plate and putting pressure on myself and just doing the complete opposite. No pressure, not a lot on my plate, just, chill and, just have an easy life. And those were the two times I burnt out. So, how do you uh how do you feel comfortable going at it again? Well, at this point, from 2018 I want to say until 2021. I spent that entire time, not even 2018. It was the end of 2018. So the second half of 2018 till 2021, not even 2021, really 2022. That was still just I wasn't pushing myself too hard. So from about September 18 to February 2022, I used that time to rest. I used that time to get my mind right. I used that time not to prepare for myself because at that point in time, I was like, well, I don't necessarily trust myself with putting a lot on my plate because I don't feel like I know how to manage it and I feel like I've learned how to manage it. So I kind of want to move away from that and just be low key and be under the radar. And I did it. And then I met my wife and she inspired something in me that made me want to push my limits again. But this time more intelligently and more what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted to be more uh it's not intensive. I wanted to be more purposeful with my time and how I use it instead of just going hard and going all out and not really planning it, just going and just seeing where it goes. No, I want to be purposeful about my time and how I push myself. So, I slowly began to add more to my plate. I was working overnight. I was like, cool, I want to start coaching. All right, let me make a resume and let me try to see if I can get a coaching job somewhere. Got a coaching job, and then I proceeded to coach and work overnight. But I didn't overdo it. I did those two things, and I still made time to sleep during the day so I could be good for all events. And then, on those days off, I spent time with my wife at that point in time. So um, I managed my time between my wife, my overnight job, and my coaching gig. And then, I moved in and moved to Orange County. So I was still doing both, but at this time, I got a coaching gig at a high school. And that was just a regular, progression. I was going to, you know, move up until I became a head coach somewhere. But then, by the time it came September, October 2022, I just looked at the schedule and realized my scheduling for the overnight job, it's not going to allow me to coach. Like, if the games are going to run either real close to when my shift starts, or I'm not going to have enough time to go to both of them, and I'm going to have to like pick and choose. And at that point, I was like, well, the coaching gig is a passion, but it's not, the cash cow. It's not where I'm getting my money. So that that July or August, I resigned and said I can't coach. And that was me, with help from my wife, basically being smart and purposeful about my time and managing my time so I don't burn out and push myself to where I'm wearing myself too thin. Um, so then you fast forward, we moved to Maryland. I'm like, okay, well, I need to finish my degree so we can have better opportunities and have more money. Cool. So I go in, they tell me about the school, UMGC, uh, University of Maryland Global Campus, and they say you can transfer your credits there and try to finish your degree there. Bet. I actually feel motivated to do online classes, so now let's do it. And it's in person too. It's in person and online, but nonetheless, I feel motivated to do it. So now I am working full time and going to school full time. So I do this, and then I continue to do this, and then I lose my government job, and then I find another job doing retail. Well, now as I'm doing retail, I'm still going to school full time, and I'm working full time at this retail job. Only difference is it's an hour away. So I'm driving an hour there, and then I'm driving an hour back home. Nonetheless, it's a job. It's paying me, even if it's significantly less than what I've been getting. So I continue forward and I do it. And then this continues until, while we're doing this, she got pregnant. Uh, we're looking for a house. Uh, all these things are happening at once. But I'm not pushing myself too far to where I'm not getting rest, if that makes any sense. I've learned to be better about my time and how I spend it and not overworking myself. So now I have my wife. If you fast forward to now, I have my son. I'm going to school full time at Johns Hopkins, and I'm still working full time my retail job with a higher position. And I'm not overworking myself. I still find time to spend time with my family. I still manage to sleep at night. Now, obviously, I have no control over whether I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. For whatever reason, my body is just doing that. But I'm still sleeping throughout the night. So in the end, I'm still resting. That's all that matters. Um, with that happening, I feel like I've learned to manage my time better and not overwork myself. So I say all that in saying there's nothing wrong with ambition and trying your best, but you need to be purposeful and be smart about how you do it. Know your limits, and once you know your limits, don't push yourself past them. Stick to that gray area that you're doing all these things, but you're still able to find time to spend time with your loved ones. And, you know, the most important part besides spending time with your loved ones, sleep. Sleep is very important. Your body needs rest. So don't work yourself to the ground. Find time to sleep. Find time to rest. Um, Burnout is definitely a real thing. Burnout definitely happens. You just want to make sure that you're being wise about how you do it. Because you don't want to burn out and you don't want to fall asleep at the wheel. You don't want to lose your mind and then attempt suicide. You don't want to do all that. You want to keep sane, you want to stay alive, and you want to be there for your loved ones. So that is my episode. Um, this has been about burnout. So, you know, if you have any stories of you've been through the same thing or know anybody who's been through the same thing, want to talk about it, go ahead and holler at me. Other than that, see y'all on the next episode. This was our reset. Hopefully you got some. Leave a comment, answer the polls. Go ahead and contact me at Juice Kastoan on Instagram, Twitter, everything to go and holler at your boy.
Mad thoughts just going through my head. Expectations have been